again, Darren here. 2018 was a pretty quiet year for me personally. I wasn't working until September this year, so I had a lot of family time and a chance to work on some of those gear projects I'd been hatching for a while. The biggest of which was this combo cab conversion into a matching 2x12 cab for my AC15. The best thing I've ever put together and still in use for pretty much all of my musical stuff. This year is, however, overflowing with great records, so no messing about, straight to it. I'll be moving quickly, so keep up. The Goon Sax, we're not talking Brisbane trio, now defunct, with Aussie indie credentials out the wazoo due to the presence in their ranks of Louis Forster, son of the go-betweens Robert. And it's jangly, old-school indie goodness, familiar in all the right ways, and accomplished stuff from such young heads. Flasher and Constant Image. This is DC punk post-hardcore, the next generation. They've slimmed down and added more electronic elements since this album, but I rate them highly in all of their guises. Bursts of dreamy, shoegazy stuff in Discord-flavoured surroundings. Smart, catchy, eloquent, surprising, very good stuff. Next, the band that dare not speak its name. Oh, go on then, ad revenue be damned. This is Tropical Fuckstorm and A Laughing Death in Meat Space. Thoughtful, wordy, post-punk, art rock, what have you. Another Aussie band, Melbourne this time. Hints of clanging Sonic Youth Discord, a bluesy Thalia Zedek flavour maybe, and top draw lyrics from singing guitarist Gareth Lydiard. Go for the opener, You Let My Tyres Down, and closer, Rubber Bullies and Work Inwards. Both are the perfect introduction to TFS for first-timers. Parquet Courts and Wide Awake, my introduction to the band, their fourth album, fifth if you count the Milano collaboration from the year before. A scabrous, clattery punk stroke new wavecore dressed up with retro cladding that varies from song to song. Psychedelia, funk, pub rock, a fun record. 1 second you'll hear the Minutemen, then the Stranglers, the Talking Heads, and then the Seeds. Any thrift store strokes, cutting loose and throwing the kitchen sink at everything. What it lacks in focus is more than made up for by the energy and joie de vivre that suffuses the whole endeavour. I did warn you there was a lot, I'm only halfway in. This is Beak and Beak 3, or Arrow, 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 if you like. And what a record. Psych folk, haunted cosmisha, the freaky giallo end of the prog spectrum, but working in electronica and krautrock textures. This is, of course, what Jeff did next, that being Jeff Barrow of Portishead. So, as you might expect, detailed recreations of out-there movie and TV soundtrack tropes. The ticking beat and warning light arpeggios of Allez Sauvage has a bit of everything, but the threatening shuffle and lumpy bass of Breen Down is the absolute doubt killer here. Think Can at their inappropriately used in a European horror film best, but that's only scratching the surface of quite how good this is. Beak are no more following the current tour, so treasure the best of what they did whilst they were active, and this record would be my suggested starting point. Next, The Breeders and All Nerve. This is Kim, Kelly, Joe and Jim back together for the first time as The Breeders since Last Splash. Full of that candy sweetness going weird in the blink of an eye, rumbling, surfy momentum, sliding into dark and dirty and troubling territory. Wait in the Car is a glorious jumble of sunshine and formless threat, walking with a killer, doomed catatonic slasher movie audio description. Even their choice of cover is impeccable. Amon Dul's Archangel's Thunderbird, which in this setting blends seamlessly with the originals around it. There's nobody I admire in music more than Kim. They're not my words, that's Steve Albini's. Dude knew some stuff. I'd be minded to agree if I were you. Getting closer now, and in another year, this would walk it. But there's an album I can't not acknowledge in 2018, if you get my drift. Before that, though, this is Bottle It In by Kurt Vile. My first real-time Vile, so maybe I rate this higher than the early birds would, but man, do I love this record. One man's shtick is another man's creative device, and I am more than happy to take the character of Kurt Vile, as he's rendered in song, as just that. That's the rambling stoner losing his thread and repeating himself to the point of distraction. It's the narrator he's created to fit the music he writes. And if you just hear hippy-dippy stream of consciousness mumbo-jumbo, then congratulations, you do get Kurt Weill. You just haven't realised it yet. Maybe I'll revisit this record someday and give it a little extra, but today I'm on the clock. So check out the 10 minutes of bass aquas and just drift along with it, or revel in the hypnotic banjo stomp of Come Again, or the crystalline mumblecore of Hysteria, and just marvel. Everything's stretched until slack, the fluid instrumentation playing catch-up and trying to pull the songs back into shape, but never too hard. It's the space rock side of the War on Drugs, given room to wander, and when you're not in a rush, Weill is the perfect travel guide. So, the album of the year for me is actually also my album of the millennium so far. An album utterly of its time, which, if you've taken in anything of what's been happening to the world over the last 10 years or so, makes it very hard to talk about. So here goes nothing. This is Low and Double Negative. 2015, Low's previous album, Ones and Sixes, was in retrospect a kind of dry run for this record. An increasing willingness, a desire to twist, to remould their sound had resulted in synthetic beats and studio treatments supplementing the band's core sound. The minimal drums, Alan's open G-tuned guitar, the vocal harmonies, all were given a distinctive frosty edge, a chill that added distance, detachment, dislocation. And Double Negative saw the band take that approach and lean into it hard. What is the minimum that's required to render this song? How far can the building blocks be deformed, destroyed even, and still bear the weight of the music? Where is that point on the line connecting creation and destruction that the really interesting things start to happen? And the result? Low's most experimental record thus far. Like a dying star, nothing can escape the creative pull that drove this record's creation. Distorted, looped, sliced, shifted, silenced, crushed, everything. Beats, guitars, voices, all fuel for a hungry reactor core. B.J. Burton, the producer, shaping and harvesting the decaying material that emerged from it. If Ones and Sixes was about questions, about confusion, Double Negative is about absence, removal, about the vacuum that is created when everything you accepted as truth is invalidated. Alternative facts, post-truth, misinformation, disinformation, the negation of accepted norms, of reality. The production eerily mirrors the times. Everything amplified, distorted, inescapable, and then silence. The sound of a lone, quiet voice facing down all of the noise. Voices twisted and shifted, their warm, familiar outlines casted ghostly or ugly forms, inhuman, indecipherable. It's not the end, it's just the end of hope, sings Sparhawk on Dancing and Fire. And this is the question the record poses, it seems, over and over again. How do we keep going? How do we continue to exist when the rug is yanked out from beneath us? By politicians, by ill health, by grief, by anxiety. The album's most dramatic, most emotional moments, most hopeful moments come when the treatments, the dense, blocky distortion are set against more natural, purer sounds. The long coda from the brutal pounding of Dancing and Blood, sustained ringing notes like a Buddhist chant, leading into the heartbeat pulse, Mimi's high, clear melodies, the ringing piano notes that shape the eerie interlude of Fly. Or again, the collapsing resonant scour of Tempest, falling away abruptly into the crushingly beautiful Always Up. Alan and Mimi's voices combining magically into a single, consoling chorus. Turn it out, break it down, mistaken, unshaken. Mimi responding alone with I believe, I believe, I believe. I believe. It's an intensely powerful moment of hope, of peace, of reaffirmation on a record which, for the most part, offers little in the way of consolation to the listener. I'm giving the impression that everything is unremitting ugliness on double negative, but no. The cold, uncoiling voices of always trying to work it out are alien, synthetic, but ultimately our own. Similarly, the warbling, watery, affected singing on Poor Sucker is identifiably human, but the words, the sentiments are cold, pitiless, contradictory. The album ends with disarray, the closest thing to a direct message, I think, that Alan and Mimi deliver. The truth is not something that you have not heard. There is that double negative right there. It's not, it just is. If double negative should leave you with any feeling, it's that we are. And as we are, so truth is. For all the lies and misinformation out there, and this year's events suggest no change in that baseline level of bullshit, the universe doesn't care, and the equations will always balance out in the end. I'm going to finish this up a little quicker today, so please, add your comments below and your thoughts, and like, subscribe, all the usual stuff if you've enjoyed this video. I'll leave you now. Please do take care, and bye for now.